G'day and welcome to the Head Shepherd podcast. I'm your host, Mark Ferguson, CEO at neXtgen Agri. At the Head Shepherd podcast, we focus on all things livestock through the stories of the people that farm them and the people that study them and work with them on a daily basis. We get to work in amazing locations like I am today at Glenthorne Station here in the South Island of New Zealand. At neXtgen Agri, our tagline is farming in our hearts, science in our heads. And we live that out every day, and you'll certainly hear that coming out in the Head Shepherd podcast. Before we start today's episode, I really do want to thank again Allflex, our sponsors, and now the MSD team for continuing to support our podcast. It really is fantastic to have such a great collaboration, and the combined forces is pretty exciting for Australasian agriculture. The science of healthier animals through ID and through the animal health products like the Cooper's range, which is an MSD product that we might be more familiar with. Fantastic to have such a close alignment with those two companies now. Just really exciting to continue Head Shepherd. We've gone past our 50 episodes. We're into season 5 now. Fantastic to see the podcast continue to grow. Thank you to all those that continue to support us and give us feedback. It's really is awesome. We better get on with the show. Welcome back to Head Shepherd. Really excited this week to have Rozzie O'Reilly with us. Welcome, Rozzie.
Thanks for having me, Ferg.
No worries. So Rozzie's, what's your title there at LambPro?
Operations Manager.
Cool. And I thought we might just get started with a bit about your background for those who don't know much about you and your sort of career up until now.
Yeah, so I grew up in southern New South Wales in a small town called Narrandera on a pretty small sheep and cattle enterprise. Alongside 3 siblings, and we all loved being involved in it and got to be a part of all parts of the business. So I think, from a young age, really developed a passion for livestock production. And then, once I finished school, sort of followed that passion and went and studied a Bachelor of Animal Science at UNE.
All right, cool. And then straight into LambPro, or?
No, from there I actually went up to Queensland for a couple of years and worked on a beef cattle feedlot, specialising in high-quality beef, doing mainly long-fed Angus and long-fed Wagyu to go into the export market. So I actually started on a graduate program and got to rotate around the whole business. So whether that was milling grain, dealing with nutritionists to formulate rations, or processing cattle, riding pens, logistics. Just got exposed to all parts of the feedlot, which was awesome. And then finished the grad program and went into a supervisor's role in the mill. So that was a big learning curve. I think I was 23 at the time and had a team of 8. 23 up to age 65 and was the only female on the team, but no, it was a good experience and learn a lot from it. It's something that I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to do. And while I was the female supervisor, Tom approached me to come and work for him. And at that time, I'd been up north for about 6 years, so I was ready to probably venture back south. Moved down. I'm now based at Holbrook. So for the Kiwis, if you think on the map, smack bang in the middle of Melbourne and Sydney, you'll find Holbrook. So that's about an hour and a half away from home from where I grew up. So, been here for the last 5 years.
Awesome. Cool. How did Tom know to poach you out of a feed milling job?
I actually, when I was at school, I used to come over and do a bit of holiday work for him. And when I was at my final year of uni, I did an honours project in sheep genetics, looking at G/E interactions. And, he knew I'd done it, but I decided to go north and, I'm not sure why I poached, but here we are today.
Worked out well for all. Yeah, awesome. So your current role at LambPro, could you just tell us a bit about what that is and what that means and how that's changed since that first poaching?
So a big part of it is managing the database for the seedstock business. So in 2022, we're just actually finalising our joining numbers, but we'll join just over 10,000 seedstock ewes. and there'll be over 4 different breeding programs. Our biggest one's our prime line maternal, and then we have 3 other terminal programs. But yeah, I guess my role is managing that database for those seedstock ewes, but then coordinating a team to ensure we can collect all the data that goes with seedstock production. Data is the core of our business, and it's what we make all of our decisions on. So we have to collect accurate and timely data. So that's a big part of my role. And then dealing with contractors, whether it's shearers, muscle scanners, preg scanners, RAM videographers, whatever comes with producing seedstock.
Yeah, cool. So how big's your team under you now, or working with you?
Yeah, so working alongside 4 others. So it's actually quite a young team. There's 4 of us still in our 20s, and then Duck's our maintenance man, and he's got a lot of knowledge in everything. So thank God we've got Duck. But we've got a great breeding manager in Georgia, and young Daniel and Corey, they do a hell of a lot of work as well. So we're really fortunate.
For most people, thinking about 10,000 seedstock ewes is bring a tear to their eye, and particularly, I guess, when you tell us that you then tag all them at birth. I presume you still do that?
Yeah, still tagging everything at birth.
Yeah.
It goes for 5 months, so it is quite a job.
So I guess for those who haven't experienced that life, you've probably, I don't know, I've said tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of lambs that...
Oh, not quite, no.
Plenty of lambs around. What's that typical day look like when lambing's on? Yeah,
when it's in full swing, it can be quite busy. I think my record's 230 lambs in one day. But I mean, not every day you're tagging that many. Some days you're down to 10. So it is spread out over quite a long period, but that's because we've got so many different joining programs that, when we're in peak of maternal lambing, it's busy.
So what sort of data are you collecting at birth?
So birth, just dam, birth weight, birth type, rear type, and weight.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, quite a hell of a job at that scale. Most people get sick of it after 500, but thousands is the...
As I said earlier, we've got a very young and enthusiastic team.
Yeah. That's what you'd want. Big congratulations on winning the Xander McDonald Award for 2021 for the Australian recipient of that, which I think is the most prestigious award for young people in ag. So that's pretty awesome. You must have been stoked when you received that news.
Yeah, I was shocked. We were up in Orange for the award ceremony, and I was definitely gobsmacked. But it was extremely humbling, and one that I didn't think that I was certainly going to win. Yeah,
cool. So for those who don't know, the Xander McDonald Award was one. Well, as for a while, it's both across Australia and New Zealand, and with COVID and other things, it's now being a recipient in both sides of the ditch. And it recognises sort of young leaders in agriculture that I guess have already demonstrated that, I guess more than potential, they've already demonstrated that they're going to have a big impact on ag. So certainly would have been a big pull that even to get in the finalist is a pretty cool gig, and to get further is awesome. What does that award mean for you in the next few months or years?
Yeah, so it's provided some pretty amazing opportunities. So my husband John and I went on a mentoring trip that comes with the program earlier this year. So with the program, you get to do a week-long mentoring trip in Australia and a week in New Zealand. And with COVID, we haven't quite got to New Zealand, but we've done the Australian one, which was phenomenal. So they actually provide a Pilatus plane to charter you around the countryside and visit Triple P members, which is an incredible opportunity in itself. So back in May, we headed up to Brisbane. The week started in Brisbane, and just visited a couple of incredible Triple P members in Brizzy, and then had a dinner on the second night there was 15 Triple P members there. That it was just. There was no press in the room, and it was really open discussion, which it's something so hard to describe, but it was yeah, it was just incredible. I think 4 of the people at the table represented 1.2 million cattle and owned, I think it was 15.4 million hectares. That's equivalent to like England. So like just to have these people in the room was, and be so open and candid with you was just awesome. And then from there, chartered out to Condamine, to one of the MDH feedlots, their finishing operation. And then from there, we actually went and visited Xander's home property, Devoncourt, and stayed with his parents, Don and Chris, as well as Julie, Xander's wife. So that was really special. And then, it's just that was incredible to see, what MDH is doing and at their headquarters where a lot of the decisions are made. And then, continued to venture north to another MDH block up in the Gulf. And then finished over at Tipperoo Station in the Northern Territory. So all in 5 days. So it was a lot of travel and it was, brain overload, but something both John and I will be forever grateful for.
Yeah, one of the benefits of a charter plane is you get to see a bit of country quite quickly and travelling style on the Pilatus.
Yeah, absolutely. I can assure you, John and I have never travelled in that sort of style before.
I was lucky to sneak a ride with Jack, the recipient last year over here, so I managed to get a bit of time in the Pilatus. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Very comfortable.
Yeah. No, that same openness and candidness when you get over to New Zealand and the same, you'll have the same experience. It's a network of people who just wrap themselves around the award winners, which is really cool, and to really advance those young people like yourself in the industry. So it's I'm very, very grateful and excited to have a little bit of association with the award, and it's great to see what it will do in the next few years as it continues to develop.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might get into some tougher questions. Well, they're not that tough, but some more open questions, I suppose. But I guess, just a random question. But what excites you about the future of livestock agriculture in Australia?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of exciting things happening in that space. I think technology is huge, and I think it's evolving so quickly. I look back on, I've only been with Tom for 5 years, and the technology that we now use, and we certainly weren't even thinking about it 5 years ago. Just in this year's joining, we've done an extensive sex semen program, which is a game changer for us. But for us, I think, you've really got to embrace that technology. There's so many exciting opportunities, but whether the industry can go forward is going to be dependent on if we embrace that. So I think that's a big part that's exciting. And those technologies are also going to just make people's management decisions so much easier, take the complexity out of trying to be a farmer. I think that's the biggest exciting part about it.
Yeah, cool. So, sex semen's got, like when it first came about, you sort of think, you need males and females, so what would you do? But obviously some ewes you sort of know that you want females out of, and some ewes you want males out of, or how do you...
Yeah, so this year we did totally male semen. So a big challenge for us is we can't fulfill ram orders currently. So trying to be able to, how do we multiply ram numbers quickly to ensure we can fulfill our clients' needs? So this year we did 400 ewes to male semen, and we actually had a 75% stick rate, which, was crazy and very exciting. I think there's only been 4 programs done in Australia so far with sex semen in sheep. I mean, there's plenty of it in cattle, but to be able to do that at a larger scale, it was very exciting, and a lot of those rams sold in our auction only a month ago.
Yeah. The what sort of hit rate in terms of how good the drafting was? How many aren't males?
Yep. So it was 89% were males. Yeah. So it's pretty accurate, really. It's
about as good as I go on a drafting game. So
can't comment on that one, no. No, it was very exciting. We're actually, trying to still build ewe numbers. So this year we'll try and do some sex semen female. AI programs.
Yeah, no, it's certainly. And I've been associated with one other program, and it was similar, very high conception rate and pretty high accuracy. So it's pretty. It certainly means we've got a bit more control over because there's a bit more control over what we do, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, going into it, we weren't filled with great hope. There was, it might go this well or it might go this well. So to have, that high stick rate, we were like, geez, this is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it all goes in collected fresh and then sorted then, yeah.
Yeah, so it all happened down at Camperdown, and it was, they had to sort and then drive up to Holbrook the same night to be able to inseminate the following morning. So it's, huge importance on timing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, someone was driving through the night to get it to us, which we are very grateful for.
Yeah. Just to we've had Tom on the podcast before, as people remember, but in terms of scale, what's sort of, in terms of the LambPro business, how many ewes go to LambPro rams?
So this year, in 2021, our clients would have produced over 1 million lambs side by LambPro rams. And that's about, the client base now stands at just over 350 lamb producers, and they range from Guyra in northern New South Wales right throughout Victoria, South Australia and down into Tassie.
Cool, yeah. So a very, very large seedstock production business and massive success. In your role at LambPro, I've seen a few of your videos and stuff. You get out and about a bit, and obviously you're interacting with 350 businesses. What stands out to you amongst those that are kind of more successful than average?
Yeah, we are really fortunate to be able to see our genetics perform in such varied environments. And there's certainly things that stand out. Our highest benchmarking clients are definitely those that know their numbers, and it's numbers on everything. They don't just know their sheep, they know their soils. They can just put a number on everything, and they can bring that number right down to how many kilograms of lambs have we weaned per hectare. I'd say that's our most profitable clients. That's those guys that are up the top. They just know their numbers.
And
and I think that's what draws them into the LambPro service, is because there's so much data collected and behind those sheep that they can select those rams with confidence.
Yeah, it would be a self-selecting clientele, and I often think that in our business as well, you end up working with a particular type of producer that embrace the same sort of things, like the same tech, the same numbers, and the same.
Yeah, and they're open to new ideas, and they want to hear your input. They're not just coming to buy rams. They want more information. They thrive on information.
Yeah. Cool. Last month, back in November, LambPro smashed, I don't know, all of the sale records, I think, but I can't remember the stats, but over 1,000 prime line ram lambs sold for, I think, 4.5 average or something.
So we did 1,045 rams in the maternals, and then we actually do our auction over 2 days. So the Thursday's our terminal auction, and we did 336 on the Thursday, and then Friday we did 1,045. So full clearance on the Friday in the prime line maternals. I guess the thing that's always impressive about the all of our rams is they're sold as ram lambs. So these lambs were born from May through to July, and they're now being sold in the auction in November. They've got to be over 50 kilos essentially to get into that auction. Yeah,
and I guess for you, as in your position, you've got to get all the measurements done and the data sorted and work out which ones you're keeping, which ones you're selling, and all that. And relatively,
that's a headache. It really is a tight turnaround.
Yeah.
So we finished collecting data. Our last opportunity to select or collect data and submit into sheep genetics is the 15th of October. Yeah. And that's so for that week prior, this year we scanned 2,400 ram lambs, muscle and fat scanned. That data all went on the 15th. And then we have a week for them to process data, and then we get 4 days to select stud rams, and then we start cataloguing. Yeah. So it's such a tight turnaround.
Yeah, but congratulations again on that huge result in terms of the sale. It must have been a hell of a day for you and the team, and just to see your hard work pay off is always, it's what it's all about at the end of the day, is seeing your hard work turn into product and see those clients not just returning, but returning with gusto and growing in number is always awesome to see. What do you, in your thoughts at least, what do you attribute the success of LambPro to?
I think there's a lot of things that combine to generate that success. I think Tom's vision certainly is a big contributor. I'd probably never tell it to his face, but
I reckon he'll be listening.
He's very much a visionary. So his vision for what sort of industry needs in 5 years' time and what our clients need to be the most profitable is a huge driver. But we do substantial progeny testing programs every year. This year we'll do 4 cohorts of progeny testing where we collect that data. We've got full pedigrees on the ewe, and then progeny test. This year we'll do over 65 rams, where we'll mate up. You need about 10 ewes to each sire, and then you'll collect fertility data, you'll collect lambing data, we'll then collect weaning data, post-weaning data, and we'll go right through to carcass data. And it's by doing those progeny test programs, we can really produce industry-relevant genetics. And by having those genetics that are really relevant, that what clients need to be profitable, I think that continues to bring clients back. I think the other thing is the service that we provide clients, I guess. When you come and buy rams with us, it's not you buy rams and that's the only touch point you've got for the whole year. We're constantly talking to clients throughout the whole year, whether that's trying to help them optimise joinings, how do we run our ewes going into lambing, what age should we wean lambs this year given the season we're having, how do we manage those lambs once we're through weaning. It's constant information that we're always giving, and those touch points that we continually have with our clients that I think has been the big driver that's been able to ensure that our client base is actually people that have been here for a long time. A lot of our clients have been buying rams off Tom for over 10 years. So, there's a solid client base there, which I think is a big success. And I guess I touched on it earlier, the other thing that attributes this success is our team. Without our team, we wouldn't be able to collect as much data as we do and produce the sheep that we do. That was very long-winded. Sorry, Ferg.
No, that's perfect. I think that final bit. I think there's obviously 2 key elements. It's the leadership from Tom and that vision, and then all smart people put good teams around them to get the work done, and there must be a hell of a lot of passion in the team and like a real desire to.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're always on the same. We're always on the same page. We know why we've got to collect all this data to be able to achieve what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And that there is reason behind what we're doing.
Yeah. Cool. There'll be future Rozzie O'Reillys out there listening, and I guess what would your message to them be for those people that might be just finishing their ag degree or just going to high school or whatever? What are the things that you've found to bring you success?
I think listening, you'll always learn something from everyone. It doesn't matter who you're working with or where you are. You've got something to learn from everyone. But I do strongly believe getting your hands dirty and in industry is where you'll learn the most. You can't go and give advice to someone if you haven't experienced that. That's something that I really enjoy working at LambPro because I'm always involved in the business and how we manage our sheep and what we do on farm. So I find it quite easy to talk to clients because we're in the same situations. We've had, for example, this year, everyone's had a lot of rain. There's a lot of feed. I know how we're dealing with our ewes, so I can help them deal with their ewes. So getting that dirt under your fingernails, I guess, has certainly helped me anyway.
Oh, yeah, cool. Awesome, Rozzie. Congratulations again on both the Xanadu McDonald Award and that massive sale, and really looking forward to when the borders open to see you over here in New Zealand, and I'm sure we'll catch up while you're here and
can't wait.
show you a bit of the action on this side of the ditch. But thanks very much for coming on. It's been great to have a chat.
Thanks for having me, Ferg.